Arkham Saga is rightly praised as one of the greatest Batman stories ever told, but what if the real beginning, the crucible that truly forged the Dark Knight, is the one chapter most people skip? We're told the legend started in Arkham Asylum, but it didn't. It was born in the fire and chaos of a single, brutal Christmas Eve. This is the story of how a younger, angrier Bruce Wayne, long before he became the polished hero, was pushed to his absolute limit and forced to become the Batman. This is his true beginning. Before we get into the game itself, we have to talk about the cloud that hung over Batman, Arkham Origins. When he came out in 2013, it was carrying the massive weight of its predecessors, Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, but this time the legendary developer Rocksteady wasn't making it. The job went to WB Games Montreal, and right away that put a target on the game's back. Could they have possibly lived up to the masterpieces that came before? When it launched, the reception was mixed. Critics and players complained about technical bugs in a reused map from Arkham City, and the feeling that the gameplay hadn't really evolved. It quickly got labeled the black sheep of the series, a buggy, unnecessary prequel, and honestly, that reputation has stuck around. But that completely overlooks the game's single strength, its story. Freed from having to continue the main timeline, WB Montreal got the unique chance to look back. They decided to tell a story about a raw, unrefined Batman in just a second year. This isn't the guy who was working a relationship with Gordon, a well-known rogues gallery. This Batman is still a ghost, a terrifying urban legend whispered about by criminals and a wanted fugitive hunted by a corrupt police force. The game drops us right into this powdered cake on Christmas Eve, the snow-covered streets of Gotham, which should be peaceful, and they have become a hunting ground. The crime lord Black Mask has put a $50 million bounty on Batman's head for anyone who can kill him before sunrise. This simple, violent premise brings 8 of the world's deadliest assassins to the city, creating a threat Batman has never seen before. He's used to fighting thugs and mobsters driven by greed. Now he's facing artists of death, specialists who are his equals and, in some cases, his superiors. This isn't just another night on the job, it's a trial by fire, designed to see if this creature of the night will finally break or be forged into something more. It's the perfect storm, and Bruce Wayne is walking right into it. The story kicks off at Blackgate Prison during a massive Black Mask orchestrated breakout. Commissioner Loeb is a hostage, and Batman's arrival is a showcase of raw, untamed power. He moves with a brutal efficiency that's almost vicious. The thugs here are no match for him, and he knows it. This is a Batman running on pure anger and overconfidence, believing he's the apex predator of Gotham. His first real test comes from Killer Croc, but this isn't the devolved monster from Arkham Asylum. This is Waylon Jones, a gangster with a fearsome skin condition, but still more man than beast at this point. The fight is brutish, and Batman manages to pry the crucial information he needs, the $50 million bounty. Hearing about the 8 assassins doesn't scare him. If anything, it makes him cockier. To him, they're just names on a list. His investigation leads him to the Penguin on a massive derailed container ship called the Final Offer. It's a labyrinth of rust and violence, and it's here Batman meets his first official assassin, the Executioner. And the fight, well, that's a strong word. It's a literal joke, man. The loudmouth showman goes down with a single kick. This moment just reinforces Bruce's mindset. These so-called assassins are all talk. He's completely unprepared for what happens next. As he tries to leave the ship, he's ambushed by Deathstroke. The boss fight against Slade Wilson is, without exaggeration, one of the most important moments in the entire Arkham saga. It's not a brawl, it's a duel. For the first time, Batman is facing a true peer. Deathstroke isn't a mindless brute or an arrogant showman. He's a master technician and a super soldier who matches Batman in skill, speed, and strategy. The fight is a brutal, cinematic ballet. Mashing buttons and being aggressive gets you destroyed. You, the player, have to change your entire approach. Just like Batman does, you have to be patient and wait for that split-second opening and counter. Deathstroke adapts using a staff, sword, and explosives, forcing Batman onto the defensive side. Batman can't win with this brute force, he has to win it with his mind. The fight doesn't end in an triumphant victory, but in exhausted survival. He doesn't truly defeat Slade, he loses the duel, only managing to end the fight through a desperate last-ditch effort. He didn't just fight a bad guy, he was humbled by a superior warrior. This is his first major lesson of the night. Anger and strength aren't enough. There are much bigger sharks in the ocean. And he leaves the ship not with the swagger he had before, but with a new understanding of his own vulnerability. The Batman's real education has just begun. Taken but determined, Batman continues his hunt for Black Mask. The trail takes a dark turn when he finds out the crime lord has apparently murdered his own girlfriend and is now pulling a major heist at the Gotham Merchants Bank. At this point, Batman thinks he gets it. He's just chasing a mob boss who got in over his head. It's all about money and power. It's a world he understands, but as he moves through the bank, something feels off. The crime scene is too theatrical, too strange. He finally reaches the vault and confronts a man he thinks is a Black Mask. But as the man turns, his voice, his mannerisms, his sheer delight in the chaos is all wrong. And then the mask comes off. Beneath it is a chalk-white face, a red slash of grin, and a chilling, unfamiliar laugh. This isn't Black Mask. This is the Joker.
Hired the assassins. You've been running Sionis' operation.
Well, technically it's my operation now. Isn't that right, boy?
This is the moment the entire Arkham universe pivots. The game and Bruce's crusade instantly transforms. There is no longer a simple manhunt. He has just been an agent out of pure anarchy, a force of nature he can't possibly comprehend. The assassins, the bounty, Black Mask, it was all just a twisted piece of theater orchestrated by this clown to get Batman's attention. Joker isn't after money, he's after a soulmate. He's found his other half in the darkness, and he wants to dance. The chase leads to Gotham Royal Hotel, now a madhouse under Joker's control, with warped Christmas decorations and halls full of lunatics. It's here that Batman and Joker have their first true confrontation, and as much as it is a psychological battle as it is a physical one. Joker doesn't want to kill Batman, he wants to understand him, to see if the cowl is a spirit as beautifully broken as his own. The chaos gets even worse with the arrival of another assassin, Bane. Unlike the others, Bane isn't just here for the money, he's here to test himself against the Bat-Myth. He is a terrifying combination of brains and brawn, and in a brilliant moment of deduction, he figures out Batman's strategy, his connection to the police, and eventually his true identity. Suddenly, the stakes are terrifyingly personal. This three-way war atop the hotel leads to a defining moment. As Joker falls from the roof, Batman, on pure instinct, dives and saves the very man who turned his city into a playground of death. It's here in their first ever meeting that the fundamental rule is set in stone. Batman will not kill, not even Joker. This ad confuses Joker, but it also hooks him. He found his perfect opposite. The rivalry that will define Gotham for years to come is born right here in the freezing winter air. This is where Arkham Origins proves it's so much more than a prequel. This is the real beginning of Bruce Wayne's journey. Before this night, Batman was fighting a concept. He was waging a one-man war on the abstract idea of crime. Fueled by vengeance, he assumed all criminals were superstitious. He was effective, sure, but he was also arrogant and short-sighted. The assassins were the first part of his education. Deathstroke taught him that there were fighters who could match him, forcing him to be more than a brawler. Copperhead and her poison showed him that threats aren't always physical, and that his mind was also a battlefield. Firefly's attack on the Pioneer's Bridge forced him to prioritize saving innocent lives over just beating up a villain, shifting his mission from simple vengeance to active protection. Each encounter chipped away at his overconfidence, teaching him humility and forcing him to become more of a strategic fighter. This night also forges the most important relationships in his life. His dynamic with Alfred starts out strained, almost hostile. Alfred sees Bruce's mission as a reckless obsession and begs him to stop. Bruce sees Alfred as overly cautious and dismisses his concerns.
I don't want this to be your end.
Alfred, who do you see when you look at me? The boy whose shoes you used to tie every morning? The teenager you drove to his first date? While you are here every night, I am out there. The only thing between the innocent and the predatory. No, not maybe. I am. When the mugger or the thief stops to think twice, that is fear. That is what I am. That is why they hired assassins, because I am the reason the criminals breathe easier when the sun rises. So no, Alfred, I am not in over my head.
That all changes when Bane, having figured out Batman's identity, breaks into the Batcave and nearly kills Alfred, as Bruce frantically uses the electrocutioner's gloves to restart his father figure's heart. The weight of his arrogance crashes down on him. He almost lost the only family he has left. From that point on, their dynamic shifts. Bruce starts to understand the value of an ally, and Alfred realizes that since he can't stop Bruce, he has to help him. The partnership is solidified. At the same time, we see the beginning of his alliance with James Gordon. At the start of the night, Gordon is one of Batman's biggest opponents, seeing him as a dangerous menace.
My side works within the law. My side doesn't leave suspects with broken bones and missing teeth. We've earned Gotham's respect.
But as the night unfolds, Gordon witnesses Batman's true character. He sees Batman risk his life to save officers and civilians on the bridge. He sees Batman single-handedly in a hostage crisis, and crucially, he sees Batman save his daughter, a young Barbara Gordon. By the end of the game, Gordon's mind has changed. He sees that Batman isn't the enemy, he's the ally a corrupt city desperately needs. And finally, there's the Joker. This isn't just the start of a rivalry, it's the origin of an obsession. For the Joker, it's kind of a horrific love at first sight. In Batman's discipline and code, he finds the perfect canvas for his art of chaos. He needs Batman. From this night on, his entire purpose is to test, torment, and try to break the Bat. And Batman, for the first time, faces an evil he can't just punch into submission. They are both locked into a tragic dance that will define both of their lives. The brutal education of Christmas Eve comes to a head back where it all began, Blackgate Prison. The assassins are gone and the city thinks the threat is over, but Joker, now in custody, orchestrates a full-scale riot, turning the prison into his ultimate stage. When Batman returns to Blackgate, you can see how much he's grown. He's no longer just a brawler, he's a detective and a strategist, but his final tests are waiting. The first is Bane. Joker has been experimenting on him, pumping him full of unstable venom called TN1. He's a mindless monster, but with a terrifying catch. His heart is failing, and if it stops, a failsafe will kill him, proving Joker's point about life's fragility. So now Batman's objective has changed. He can't just beat Bane, he has to save him. In a moment of sheer brilliance, he realizes he has to stop Bane's heart himself, and then immediately restart it with the shot gloves he took from the electrocutioner. It's a crazy gamble that shows how much he's evolved. He uses his tools not just for violence, but for preservation. He defeats Bane not by being stronger, but by being smarter. And by refusing to let him die, the resulting shock conveniently wipes Bane's memory of Batman's identity. With Bane cooked, only Joker is left. The final showdown isn't a fistfight, it's a battle of wills in the prison chapel. Joker doesn't stand as a fighter, but as a preacher of nihilism. He lays out his one bad day philosophy, trying to convince Batman that they're just the two sides of the same insane coin. He gives Batman the ultimate choice: kill me. He wants to prove that anyone, even the self-righteous Batman, can be broken. And in this final moment, Bruce Wayne makes a choice that will define him forever. He looks at this agent of chaos, this man who has brought so much death in one night, and he refuses. He beats him violently, yes, but he leaves him for the law. He will not kill. In that refusal, the Batman we know from Asylum, City, and Night is truly born. He is no longer just a man driven by revenge, he is a symbol, a man who will walk into the darkest pits of humanity, but refuse to become a part of it. He establishes the code that will become both his greatest strength and his greatest burden. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If y'all want other Batman games, let me know down in the comments below. Y'all go check out my clothing brand, One Dream Clothing. Better drop another collection probably this April. Well, yeah, that's really about it. I'll see you guys. Stay safe and keep y'all set up.